Let's get to some breaking news that is just coming into us in the last couple of minutes here. The head of the FBI, in a brand new interview, is saying the agency thinks COVID may have originated, right, may have started with a lab leak in Wuhan, China. This is in an interview on Fox News. We want to play you some of the back and forth here. Watch.
As you note, Brett, the FBI has for quite some time now assessed that the origins of the pandemic are most likely a potential lab incident in Wuhan. I should add that our work related to this continues. I will just make the observation that the Chinese government seems to me has been doing its best to try to thwart and obfuscate the work here, the work that we're doing, the work that our U.S. government and close foreign partners are doing.
Ken Dilanian is joining us now with that interview with Chris Wray over on Fox. So interesting here because this is really the first sort of big-time official that we're hearing talking about what we've been talking about for 4 days now, which is this mystery of where did COVID come from, and was it, as there is some leaked reporting based on some intelligence reporting you've done, suggest was it a lab leak from China? So put this into perspective.
Right, and this is the first time that anyone at the FBI has acknowledged this long-standing position that the FBI has taken since October 2021, that they believe with moderate confidence that it was a lab leak. But important perspective here, they are one of 8 intelligence agencies that have looked at this, and 4 believe the other way.
That's what's so interesting.
Yeah.
The intel agencies don't agree.
Yeah, they don't. And the CIA is one of 2 now that are undecided. They're so divided they couldn't come to a conclusion even to write it up. And then the Energy Department, as we've been reporting, has now weighed in and said, we believe with low confidence that it was a lab leak. What this tells you...
FBI, DOE say, yeah, lab leak.
Yeah.
CIA says, TBD, we're undecided.
Yeah.
4 others say... wasn't a lab leak.
And so the most important thing this tells you is the intelligence is bad. It's spotty. They don't have good information. They're groping in the dark here.
But yet Chris Wray's going on national TV to talk about it, Ken. What are we supposed to how do we read that?
That's quite remarkable. I mean, because there's been a lot of good reporting about this, investigative reporting, and there's a compelling case for a lab leak, circumstantial evidence. There's also a compelling case that it came from nature, because that's how most viruses get into the human population. But there was this lab that was doing research on this kind of coronavirus, one of 3 places in the world, and that was the reaction of many intelligence officials right away. Oh, what a coincidence that this happened right near this lab in China. And then they started covering things up. Like there were apparently some people that fell ill at that lab in the fall before the pandemic outbreak. No one from the U.S. government has ever been able to interview those people. I mean, there's a lot of questions, but at the same time, there have been scientific papers written that say, no, I'm sorry, this definitely came from animals. It came from that animal market. Remember, there was an animal market in Wuhan where wild animals were being sold. But they have not found any animal that transmitted the coronavirus, COVID, directly to humans.
And why this is so important is because it gets to the central question of this pandemic that killed hundreds of thousands of people in this country alone, millions of people around the world, right? Deadly, horrific, generational changing pandemic.
Yep.
How did it start?
Exactly.
This is the question they're trying to answer. And even though Chris Wray is coming out tonight, head of the FBI, and saying, here's what we think, what you're saying is the context is we got to take this all, looking at the big picture, grain of salt, et cetera.
And what many of my sources say is we may never know the answer to this, but also it's not necessarily, look, we can act as if both things are true, because there are certain steps that need to be taken, both on lab security and then on hunting for viruses in the wild.
Come back, talk more with us about this once we see the rest of the interview, which is going to air, I know, later on Fox. Ken Dilanian, thank you so much. I know you've got to get now tasked for your many other jobs now that this news is broken. Appreciate it.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.